I used to be a little chubby, and I always dreamed of being super skinny. Thanks to minimalism, I actually lost weight. But that led me to my first purchase that I do regret. Clothes for skinny girls. Back when I was still chubby, I'd always dreamed of being one of these slim LA girls, like Rumi Nelly embodies with her brand RUMI. So I bought her clothes and generally went for really tight outfits to prove myself that I was now slim. I was particularly drawn to skinny jeans and leggings to show off my slim legs. But I often felt uncomfortable in them because I'm not the type who likes to show off my body. It was just an old insecurity that I couldn't let go of. It wasn't until now during my pregnancy, when I really no longer found such tight clothes attractive, that I realized just how many comfortable, pretty clothes there actually are and what I'd put myself through in the years before. This purchase belongs to my first category of regrets, the insecurity purchases. Things I just bought to feel enough. Anti-aging products belong here too. Last year, I took a collagen supplement every day without fail with discipline until I took a closer look at the actual research behind it and I realized it's actually very thin. A lot of the studies are founded by the same companies that want to prove that it works. But I was just scared of the consequences, and that's exactly why I bought it and took it. Today, I regret that I bought these collagen supplements and wasted my money on it. Same with supplements during my pregnancy. Sure, there are a few that you should definitely take, but those are the ones your doctor prescribes. Me though, I researched everything. What do you need? Where might I be missing something? And then I sat there at lunch in front of a little bowl full of supplements, just out of fear of missing some tiny things and harming the baby. But the longer I was pregnant, the more confident I became. At some point, I simply listened to my doctor again and I got rid of all these other supplements. And that too, a purchase that came purely out of fear. The next category of things I regret buying followed me for a really long time. Over-optimization. Especially at the start of my minimalism journey, I kept buying gadgets to optimize my belongings even more. The best example is cables. I was obsessed with finding this perfect cable organizer. I tried solution after solution and I wasted so much money on Amazon. Instead of just asking myself one simple question: which cables do I even need and how do I fold or tie them together so they stay put? Because this is the problem with organizer. Life, it changes. You maybe have the perfect organizer for your cable. And then a new device comes along that doesn't fit anymore. Today, I don't have a single organizer left, and I don't miss it one bit. Next one are travel gadgets. I used to travel as a digital nomad, so I thought I needed all of these travel gadgets that simplify your life. Pillows, for example, that you can fold up and blow up again. Or a bag for washing laundry by hand, just because I'd seen it from another minimalist. When really, you can just wash your laundry by hand just fine without all these gadgets. Also part of the optimization category, a label maker. When my wardrobe had too much stuff again, I thought I had to label everything, when really, as so often, the solution should have been simply less and not labeling. And then water bottles. I spent so much money on water bottles. One that's supposed to remove bacteria from the water, one that you can fold up small. In the end, I didn't really need any of them. Today, I just grab an empty jar from a pasta sauce, for example. They come in different sizes, they're always on hand, and I can give them away when I don't need them anymore. You already know the next category from this channel, the fantasy self. That's the person we wish we were. With your wardrobe, for example, you keep things just because you think one day I will be that person again. For me, this was mostly one thing: courses, online courses. I always thought if I just know everything about a topic, then I'll actually do it. My constant topic was social media. I used to do a lot of Instagram and kept quitting. I started on YouTube many times, but never really followed through. And I kept telling myself I need one more course. I just don't know enough about this topic yet, and that's why I'm not doing it. Instead, I should have just done the thing. Instead of telling myself I needed to know more, learn more, and take this one more course. Books belong here too for me. Back when I wanted to lose weight and eat healthier, I just kept buying recipe books I planned to cook from. A new one with every diet trend. Instead of just looking at what I actually eat and how I could make exactly that a little better. And then luxury shoes. Those of you who've been here from the start will remember. I carried my Jimmy shoes around for years and never wore them. And it wasn't that I didn't have the chance to wear them. There were bars, events, all was there. I just never did it because I just wasn't the type. But somehow I always thought I was. I had to let that go too. Category number 4, and I think a lot of people will recognize themselves here, is aesthetic clutter. Especially in the Instagram world where the visual is everything and we tie so many feelings to it, this is a huge topic. Example number 1, organizers again, but this time not for cables. It's that I'll buy all new jars thing to pour all your food into them nicely so everything looks the same. The spices too, all poured over. With minimalism, this actually comes up so often. I moved away from that on purpose because with spices, for example, the packages are different sizes. Then not everything fits, and then there is left over in that package. And what do you do with it? Our life just doesn't fit into these pre-made round or squared organizers. I find mix and match much nicer, or going to a second-hand shop to see what's there. All these glass jars I bought for supplies and spices, I really regret them. The next aesthetic clutter, Instagram again. I used to post a lot of recipes. People loved it and I enjoyed it too. But at some point I stopped, simply because I didn't have the time anymore. And last year, I bought a plate. Because on our flower patterned plate, the food somehow didn't fit the aesthetics of Instagram. That's what I was taught. So I thought these flower plates are the problem, and when I buy a new aesthetic plate, then I'll start posting again. Well, I posted one recipe and after that, never again. And that's wrong on 2 levels. First, it's the fantasy self again, the girl who posts on Instagram, when really I have neither the time nor the desire to do it. I much prefer YouTube. And second, this belief I can only do it if I have the right aesthetic thing, that's just bullshit. You really have to watch out here. And the same goes for decorations, for pictures, for everything that gets sold to you on Instagram, especially about the home area. Very often, it's just one thing: aesthetic clutter. Next category, productivity clutter. I used to constantly buy new apps or sign up for subscriptions, always believing I just need this one perfect app. Then I'll finally be productive. Then I'll finally have my to-do list under control. The worst for me was Notion. In the end, I really had to uninstall this system because I got so lost in it. I kept thinking I need just one more template. With that, I'll finally be organized. With that, I finally get done everything that I have planned. And what happened? I put things off by planning. Instead of just doing the thing, I rather plan, switch apps again, buy another new Notion template, spend hours setting it all up and in the end throw it away again. The same goes for certain books, that I'll just read this one book and then I'll finally be productive, instead of simply looking at what needs to be done and doing it. Also part of this category, just to warn you, is buying journals instead of starting to write, buying planners instead of simply looking at what needs organizing. And finally, the marketing trap. I already hinted the first thing that I regret buying in this category. It's minimalist items. So when I started with minimalism, I thought I would need minimalism items too. Whenever something came out from, for example, Marie Kondo, I immediately thought, I have to have that. I'm a minimalist after all, and I love her philosophy. That's how I once bought an organizer, one I even tested here on YouTube. It was so pointless for my life, so dumb, and I couldn't return it anymore. Luckily, I did find someone to give it away, but still, such a waste of money and time. And the crazy thing is, things like that are often more expensive just because it says for minimalists. Then we have soft drinks. I wasted a lot of money there too. Drinks are such a hype these days, these drinks that are supposed to change your life. Until I realized it is just sugar, sweetener, and marketing. A little mint in your water, and that's plenty. The same with high protein foods. There is a bit of fantasy self in this too. I always bought everything that was high protein until I noticed how much money I was actually wasting. And then this one, you definitely know it. You want to order one notebook on Amazon for $6. And then it says, take 10 and it only costs $2 more. So you take the 10 and then it sits around at your place forever, just as clutter, and you spend even more money. So those were my confessions to you about things I regret buying as a minimalist. Do you have anything to share about this topic? I would love to read them in the comments. I talk to you guys soon. Bye.